The Didache, Part 1. The Two Ways. The Way of Life. 1. There are two ways, a way of life and a way of death, and the difference between these two ways is great. The way of life is this: thou shalt love first the Lord thy Creator, and secondly, thy neighbor as thyself, and thou shalt do nothing to any man that thou wouldst not wish to be done to thyself. What you may learn from these words is to bless them that curse you, to pray for your enemies, and to fast for your persecutors. For where is the merit in loving only those who return your love? Even the heathens do as much as that. But if you love those who hate you, you will have nobody to be your enemy. Beware of the carnal appetites of the body. If someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other one to him as well, and perfection will be yours. Should anyone compel you to go a mile, go another one with him. If someone takes away your coat, let him have your shirt too. If someone seizes anything belonging to you, do not ask for it back again. You could not get it anyway. Give to everyone that asks, without looking for any repayment, for it is the Father's pleasure that we should share his gracious bounty with all men. A giver who gives freely, as the commandment directs, is blessed. No fault can be found with him. But woe to the taker! For though he cannot be blamed for taking if he was in need, yet if he was not, an account will be required of him as to why he took it, and for what purpose, and he will be taken into custody and examined about his action, and he will not get out until he has paid the last penny. The old saying is in point here: let your alms grow damp with sweat in your hand, until you know who it is you are giving them to. 2. The second commandment in the teaching means: commit no murder, adultery, sodomy, fornication, or theft. Practice no magic, sorcery, abortion, or infanticide. See that you do not covet anything your neighbor possesses, and never be guilty of perjury, false witness, slander, or malice. Do not equivocate in thought or speech, for a double tongue is a deadly snare. The words you speak should not be false or empty phrases, but fraught with purposeful action. You are not to be avaricious or extortionate, and you must resist any temptation to hypocrisy, spitefulness, or superiority. You are to have no malicious designs on a neighbor. You are to cherish no feelings of hatred for anybody. Some you are to reprove, some to pray for, and some again to love more than your own life. 3. Keep away from every bad man, my son, and from all his kind. Never give way to anger, for anger leads to homicide. Likewise refrain from fanaticism, quarreling, and hot-temperedness, for these too can breed homicide. Beware of lust, my son, for lust leads to fornication. Likewise refrain from unclean talk and the roving eye, for these too can breed adultery. Do not be always looking for omens, my son, for this leads to idolatry. Likewise have nothing to do with witchcraft, astrology, or magic. Do not even consent to be a witness of such practices, for they too can all breed idolatry. Tell no lies, my son, for lying leads to theft. Likewise, do not be over-anxious to be rich or to be admired, for these too can breed thievishness. Do not be a grumbler, my son, for this leads to blasphemy. Likewise, do not be too opinionated, and do not harbor thoughts of wickedness, for these too can breed blasphemy. Learn to be meek, for the meek are to inherit the earth. School yourself to forbearance, compassion, guilelessness, calmness, and goodness, and never forget to respect the teaching you have had. Do not parade your own merits, or allow yourself to behave presumptuously, and do not make a point of associating with persons of eminence, but choose the companionship of honest and humble folk. Accept as good whatever experience comes your way, in the knowledge that nothing can happen without God. For, by day and by night, my son, remember him who speaks the word of God to you. Give him the honor you would give the Lord. For wherever the Lord's attributes are the subject of discourse, there the Lord is present. Frequent company of the saints daily, so as to be edified by their conversation. Never encourage dissensions, but try to make peace between those who are at variance. Judge with justice, reprove without fear or favor, and never be in two minds about your decisions. Do not be like those who reach out to take, but draw back when the time comes for giving. If the labor of your hands has been productive, your giving will weave a ransom for sins. Give without hesitating and without grumbling, and you will see whose generosity will requite you. Never turn away the needy. Share all your possessions with your brother, and do not claim that anything is your own. If you and he are joint participators in things immortal, how much more so in things that are mortal? You are not to withhold your hand from your son or daughter, but to bring them up in the fear of God from their childhood. Never speak sharply, when giving orders to male or female domestics, whose trust is in the same God as yours. Otherwise they may cease to fear him who is over you both. He has not come to call men according to their rank, but those for whom he has prepared the Spirit. And you, servants, obeying your masters with respectfulness and fear, as the representatives of God. Hate all impiety, and everything that does not please the Lord. See that you do not neglect the commandments of the Lord, but keep them just as you receive them, without any additions or subtractions of your own. In church, make confession of your faults, and do not come to your prayers with a bad conscience. That is the way of life. The way of death 5. The way of death is this. To begin with, it is evil, and in every way fraught with damnation. In it are murders, adulteries, lusts, fornications, thefts, idolatries, witchcraft, sorceries, robberies, perjuries, hypocrisies, duplicities, deceit, pride, malice, self-will, avarice, foul language, jealousy, insolence, arrogance, and boastfulness. Here are those who persecute good men, hold truth in abhorrence, and love falsehood, who do not know of the rewards of righteousness, nor adhere to what is good, nor to just judgment, who lie awake planning wickedness rather than well-doing. Gentleness and patience are beyond their conception. They care for nothing good or useful, and are bent only on their own advantage, without pity for the poor or feeling for the distressed. Knowledge of their Creator is not in them. They make away with their infants and deface God's image. They turn away the needy and oppress the afflicted. They aid and abet the rich, but arbitrarily condemn the poor. They are utterly and altogether sunk in iniquity. Flee, my children, from all this. Conclusion 6. Take care that nobody tempts you away from the path of this teaching, for such a man's tuition can have nothing to do with God. If you can shoulder the Lord's yoke in its entirety, then you will be perfect. But if that is too much for you, do as much as you can. As regards diet, keep the rules so far as you are able. Only be careful to refuse anything that has been offered to an idol, for that is the worship of dead gods.